everyone. This is Ankita Rath from ODISHATV.in bringing you today's news from Odisha. First, the headlines. Special Task Force of Odisha Police Crime Branch begins interrogation of the 5 semi-terrorists after taking them on a 13-day remand. OPCC Chief calls for a meeting of the PCC Coordination Committee on February 21 to restore normalcy in the State Congress. Gurupriya Bridge by Odisha government to connect to residents of the cut-off area to the mainland, not to solve people's problems, says Mao's leader. Enforcement Directorate interrogates controversial godman Swami Sankarananda Giri for 8 hours in connection with his overseas financial transactions. And MET Department warns of a grueling summer this year after temperature soars over 35 degrees Celsius in most parts of Odisha. Now the details. After taking the 5 terrorists of the banned outfit, Students Islamic Movement of India SIMI, on a 13-day remand yesterday, the Special Task Force of the Crime Branch of Odisha Police started interrogating the ultras at Special Operations Group headquarters at Chandaka in Bhubaneswar on Friday. According to sources, an 8-member team of the STF brought the 5 SIMI members from Raulkela to Bhubaneswar for interrogation amid tight security. The 5 members of the banned outfit will be questioned by the National Investigation Agency and police from other states about their terror module and activities in and outside the state, the sources added. Zakir, one of the 5 arrested terrorists, has reportedly confessed his involvement in 2014 Chennai blast. Notably, security forces seized 3 pistols, 11 rounds of ammunition and 7 guns from their possession in the joint operation. The 5 terrorists have been identified as Mehmood Khan alias Guddu, Zakir Khan alias Sadiq, Amjad Khan alias Daud, Salik alias Salu and Najma, Mehmood's mother. On Thursday, Raulkela Sub-Divisional Judicial Magistrate Court had allowed the STF to take the SIMI members on 13-day remand against the 30 days sought by police.
सेमाने आउ को स्थान रे अवस्थान करिसंती तांको किए जागा देइछि को परिस्थिति रे सेमाने रहिसंती तांकर नेटवर्क कोन एसोसिएट्स किए अछंती तांकर ओडिसा रे आसी रहिवार पर्पस टा कोन को प्रकार आतंकवादी कार्यकलाप किंबा क्रिमिनल एक्टिविटी करिवा पई सेमाने योजना करूथले किंबा कोन करिसंती ए सबुर गोटे कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव इन्वेस्टिगेशन आमे करिवा पई योजना करिछु.
In a sign of the widening scope of the investigation into the crime empire built over years by the Dharasamant brothers, Commissioner Police have detained 5 more persons for links with the dreaded gangsters. The 5 persons detained are reportedly associates of D brothers or their business partners. According to sources, these persons were supervising the sand mining and tender business managed by D brothers. Criminal cases are also pending against these persons, informed police sources. Meanwhile, interrogation of D brothers during the 3rd phase of the remand entered the 3rd day today. Sources claim that more and more illegal activities carried out by D brothers are coming to fore while more people are coming forward and breaking the silence against the atrocities of the dreaded criminal duo. Police have also got information about the D brothers' involvement in the murder of dreaded criminal Sagar Panda in Kisanagar, Cuttack in 2012. Yesterday, police arrested Suvendu Das alias Pinta, one of the main persons involved in the abduction and killing of Deepu and Om, along with the Sushil and Susant Dharasamant brothers. Sources said Pinta, a member of the Cuttack Youth Association, was also involved in many criminal activities pertaining to extortion, firing and bomb explosion.
गोटे स्पेसिफिक खबर हमको मिलता तार लोकेशन बाबत पुलिस ताको अरेस्ट करके फॉरवर्ड कर एज पर हिज स्टेटमेंट एटलीस्ट लास्ट 5 years ताको संगे लिंक रहथिला ओपनली इन्वॉल्वड विद इन द अबडक्शन एंड द किलिंग ऑफ दोस 2 persons एंड फर्दर तांकर जितकी से काम होथिला ही वाज वर्किंग अलोंग विद.
In an effort to ensure unity in the party, which of late has witnessed a series of incidents with some senior leaders engaging in a war of words, President of the Odisha Pradesh Congress Committee Prasad Harichandan has convened a meeting of the PCC Coordination Committee on February 21st. Though Harichandan has refused to tell the media about the issues to be discussed at the meeting, stating that this is the party's internal matter, he has announced the visit of Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi to the state. On the other hand, senior Congress leader Lalatendu Vidyadhar Mahapatra has welcomed the decision of the PCC president to convene the coordination committee meeting, but with a pinch of salt. Taking the side of the PCC president, former PCC chief Jaydev Jaina said it is not that the coordination committee meeting is convened if there is disorganization in the party. Though the PCC chief has not spoken about the agenda to be discussed at the meeting, sources in the party said the meeting would discuss about strengthening the party base in the state, the visit of Rahul Gandhi, the stand of the party on the agitations of the Dalits and tribals as well as the farmers' issues. Apart from this, the meeting would lay emphasis on putting an end to the ongoing intra-party bickering and ensure proper coordination among the leaders and workers, the sources added.
राहुल जी विभिन्न राज्य गस्त करिवार कार्यक्रम अछि एवं ओडिशा मध्य आसीबार कार्यक्रम रहिछि. आमे तारीख एवं स्थान परे जणाइबु.
1.5 वर्ष परे पीसीसी सभापति को धन्यवाद. ओल्ड एज होम रो सैनिक मानक एकाठी करबा पई गोटे चिठी प्रेरण कर निश्चित भाव 21 तारिख पहुँचू आलोचना हेले सिना आम एजेंडा जानले सिना आम कहूँ केवल एति खाली मतामत दूसरी ओल्ड एज होम प्रतिनिधि मान बहुत दिन पर मन पड़ा
समन्वय कमिटी अर्थन्वय समन्वय अभाव हेले समन्वय कमिटी हुए समन्वय कमिटी संगठन को सुदृढ़ प्रसारी करने आगू को नापी एवं किभली भाव में आम निर्वाचन कौशल एवं भविष्य कार्यपंथा निर्धारण करूँ से संपर्क में आलोचना कराए एवं जितेबाला सभापति एवं ऑल इंडिया कांग्रेस कमिटी जनरल सेक्रेटरी हरिप्रसाद जी अनुभव कले एत समन्वय कमिटी डाकिया से डाकी
At a time when the Odisha government is expediting the construction work of Gurupriya Bridge to connect to the residents of the cut-off area to the mainland, Maoists are of the opinion that the bridge would not solve any of the problems that the people are facing now. Notably, the state government has said the construction of the bridge on the river Gurupriya to connect the cut-off areas of Balimeda Reservoir with the mainland of Malkangiri will be completed before September 2017. On its completion, there will be direct road communication to the 151 cut-off villages. Earlier, the bridge work was entrusted to some private construction companies who left the project work midway due to the threat of Maoists. At present, the State Works Department is looking after the construction work with adequate security provided by the BSF. With the annual high school certificate examination just 2 days away, the Board of Secondary Education has stepped up measures to curb malpractice in the examination. As per the Odisha Conduct of Examinations Act 1988, anyone found assisting the examinees in the malpractice will be punished under the law, BSc President Professor Daksha Prasad Nanda said. Nanda further said no person who is not involved in the examination would not be allowed to enter within a 200-meter radius of the examination center. Meanwhile, students have started revision of their courses and are hopeful that they would perform very well in the examinations. The examination, which will begin on February 22, will conclude on March 4.
आमे बोर्ड तरफ केतटा स्पेशल स्क्वाड करने कि बर्तमान प्रस्तुति चलु एवं बहुत जल्दी आमे कहीदेबू केतोटी स्क्वाड हो जो इमिडिएटली दरकार पड़ो आमे बोर्ड तरफ स्क्वाड्स पठाइबू कहीं एग्जामिनेशन एक्ट 1988 रे परीक्षा रे जो माने असाधु उपाय अवलंबन करिवारे सहाय्य करिवे से माने मध्य दंडनीय
मैंने प्रथम एमसीक्यू गुरा भलसे पढ़े तापर जो आंसर तुमको करेक्ट लगे जो जानते तुम करेक्ट से प्रथम तुम आग मैंने क्वेश्चन पेपर राइट मार तापर नहीं तुम जहाँ मैंने 10 मिनट 15 मिनट समय लास्ट समय रखियो से गोल मिलो मूल आगु प्रश्न रंगुची आशा रखी 95% रखिपर.
Even as Odisha Chief Minister Navin Patnaik said on Thursday that his government was committed to the welfare of farmers, thousands of peasants rallied in Bhubaneswar to demand remunerative prices for farm produce and pension. Rallying under the banner of Navnirman Krushak Sangathan, the farmers took out a huge march here to demand monthly secured sustenance allowance. They had embarked on a 30-kilometer walk from Cuttack to Bhubaneswar on Wednesday. They threatened to resort to jail bharao agitation on March 18 as their talks with the state government have failed to break a deadlock over their demands. The NKS demanded adequate compensation for families of farmers who committed suicide. Amid speculation about the power tariff hike in the state, the Odisha Electricity Regulatory Commission will announce the tariff for the year 2016-17 by March 20th. This was informed by officials who attended the meeting of the State Advisory Committee of OERC on Thursday. The commission does not want its consumers to be overburdened, an official said. Notably, based on the proposal for hike in tariff by power producing, purchasing and distribution companies, the commission had conducted a public hearing a few days back and sought suggestions from its consumers. While Odisha Hydropower Corporation had proposed to increase per unit power tariff from 82 paise to Rs 1.43 for the financial year 2016-17, Odisha Power Generation Corporation sought a hike in the per unit cost of power from the existing Rs 2.20 to Rs 2.82 per unit. Gridco and OPTCL had also requested OERC to increase their cost per unit from the existing Rs 2.84 to Rs 3.62 and 25 paise to 35 paise respectively. Besides, the distribution companies also proposed a tariff hike of Rs 1 per unit, citing aggregated technical and commercial loss. If proposals of the companies are accepted, it would result in electricity tariff hike of Rs 3.20 per unit for the domestic consumers who have already endured a 20 paise hike per unit this year. Meanwhile, the power consumers body has demanded that the state government should not hike power tariff until the audit on alleged misproportionate of Rs 450 crore is finished.
जहाँ आम एक्ट प्रोविजन अनुसार कमिशन सब बालांस व्यू नहीं गोटे डिसीजन दब आमर डिसीजन एत फाइनाल है आमर विभिन्न एंगल विभिन्न फैक्टर को विचार करी डिसीजन निया मार्च 20 सुधा टेंटेटिवली डिसाइड होती मार्च 20 सुधा आम ऑर्डर बाहर करवा तारीफ ऑर्डर इम्प्लीमेंट हम एप्रिल 1
दर वृद्धि 16-17 कर ना जेपर्यंत सीएजी ऑडिट न सरी तृतीय दाबी हूँ जो टंका 30,000 कोटी टंका कंपनी माने ठकी नहीं
आदाय कर गत 5 वर्ष धरी तारीफ कम बेसी एमती है कि वृद्धि है एवं सेटा आवश्यकता थिला सेही समय रे होतला किंतु ए वर्ष कोन आवश्यकता अछि सेटा बर्तन तारीफ ऑर्डर बाहरला पर ही जणा पड़े।
A 60-year-old woman of Balrampur village under Kandira Panchayat in Rajnagar block of Kendrapada district was killed after being dragged by a crocodile into the Patsala river yesterday morning. The deceased has been identified as Chairani Bagh. The incident took place at about 8 a.m., eyewitnesses said. Talking to media person Sitikant Kanungo, IIC of Rajnagar police station said the deceased was grazing cows on the river bank when she was attacked by a crocodile which dragged her into the river. A case of unnatural death has been registered in this connection, he added. The Sadar police, which had arrested 6 members of a dacoit gang on Wednesday night and forwarded them to court yesterday, said the gang leader has links with the D brothers. Talking to OTV, Purnachandra Pradhan, SDPO Kendrapada said in course of interrogation of the 6 dacoits, police has come to know that the 2 gang leaders had close links with Dhalasamand brothers of Cuttack. Police seized 2 bhujalis, 2 small knives and iron rods from their possession. Stating that the arrested dacoits have a number of cases relating to tender fixing, Balighat auction, robbery and extortion in different police stations in the district, the SDPO said the arrested dacoits were associates of Littu alias Devi Prasad Das and Dippu alias Biplab Behra. The Enforcement Directorate on Thursday interrogated controversial godman and head of Kriya Yoga Ashram and founder of Prabhuji English Medium School, Swami Sankarananda Giri, for 8 hours in connection with his overseas financial transactions in Bhubaneswar. Reports said the Assistant Director and Joint Director of ED began interrogation of Swami after he arrived at the ED office in the morning. Reliable sources said the Swami was asked about the management of overseas funds for his Kriya Yoga Ashram, how much amount of foreign funds the Kriya Yoga has received, which funding agencies has given the money to the ashram, how the funding was utilized and whether the ashram has paid income tax against the amount it has received from the overseas agencies. Notably, Danish national Alan Franklin Nelson had filed an FIR against Sankarananda in the Sahidnagar police station here in 2010, accusing Giri of duping him of rupees 2 crores.
किछि दिन पूर्व बहुत हाइलाइट करथिले सब टीवी रे मीडिया रे तो ईडी सेथरे भी मध्य आसीथिले जे एटा देखियो बोली तेणु जहाँ जहाँ सब क्वेश्चन करले म ताको सब बहुत जिनिस थला हमर पूरा डिटेल्स सब ईडी पय जो इनक्वायरीटा थला सेट पय क्वेश्चन सब थला पचारथले सेटा सरी.
Even as the maximum day temperature soars over 35 degrees Celsius in most parts of Odisha on Thursday, the Met Department has warned of a grilling summer this year. Stating that southern India is comparatively hotter than northern India, Directorate of Meteorological Centre Bhubaneswar, Dr. Sarat Chandra Sahu said it has been observed that the northern part of the country did not have a prolonged winter this year. Sahu also attributed less rainfall in Odisha to the abnormal rise in the temperature in the state. Asked whether the temperature would rise further in the next few days, Sahu said since Odisha has a long coastline, rise in temperature would help the wind flow the sea to the land. According to a Met release last evening, Bhubaneswar recorded the highest 39.2 degrees in the state. Apart from Daringbadi, Koraput, Puri, Gopalpur and Paradip, where the temperature remained below 35 degrees, temperature in most places in the state remained above 35 degrees yesterday. Before wrapping up, the headlines once again. Special Task Force of Odisha Police Crime Branch begins interrogation of the 5 semi terrorists after taking them on a 13-day remand. OPCC Chief calls for a meeting of the PCC Coordination Committee on February 21 to restore normalcy in the State Congress. Gurupriya Bridge by Odisha government to connect to residents of the cut-off area to the mainland, not to solve people's problems, says Mao's leader. Enforcement Directorate interrogates controversial godman Swami Sankarananda Giri for 8 hours in connection with his overseas financial transactions. And MET Department warns of a grueling summer this year after temperature soars over 35 degrees Celsius in most parts of Odisha. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.